Hi, I'm David Martin. I'm a member of the Select Board and here to talk about Article 3. Article 3 covers a variety of town capital purchases and one-time expenses, which are to be paid for from free cash or from the town's capital stabilization fund. So I'll be going over each of these in detail, but this is a list of the items to be funded from free cash. And these additional 10 items are to be covered from the town's capital stabilization fund. Here's the first item. Last year, at the end of the summer, the Select Board created a Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission. The report from that commission is due this fall. And this item anticipates recommendations from that commission, and what recommendations are approved by the Select Board would be covered by this item. The main thing to be covered is to make an assessment as to the best way to include a diversity officer into the town's organizational structure and set up a process to recruit for and screen a diversity officer. The next item is a tree assessment. The town started a tree assessment several years ago, and this continues that effort by continuing the construction of the inventory of all the public shade trees that are within right-of-ways of the town streets. In addition to the size and type of tree, the inventory includes any risks posed by that tree and the health of the tree. A dog park is proposed to be constructed at the 348 Main Street. Most of the construction of that dog park would be covered by an anticipated grant from the Stanton Foundation. The Stanton Foundation, however, requires a 10% match by the community. This $21,000 covers that match, along with $4,000 from dog license fees. Last year, during the pandemic, town meeting funded a program to assist local businesses as they were trying to weather the pandemic. This item continues in that spirit. The state has a program of tax credits for businesses that move into empty storefronts. The state program requires a match of forgivable loans from the local community to the business if they stay at that location for at least 5 years. Currently on Great Road, we have 10 empty storefronts. This item would fund 2 businesses moving into 2 of those storefronts. And so each of those 2 businesses would receive $10,000 in tax credits from the state and $10,000 of forgivable loans from the town. Most years, we fund sidewalks at town meeting. This year, the fund for sidewalks is a little bit less than usual because we have sidewalks being constructed as part of the Kelly's Corner project and other construction projects. The sidewalks, of course, are very popular because we want to have safe and accessible streets for walkers. The town's brush chipper is 30 years old and has operational, safety, and maintenance problems. It really needs to be replaced. This $70,000 would fund a new brush chipper. Over the next 10 years or so, the town would like to replace all of its vehicles with low emission or no emission vehicles. This item kicks off that effort and replaces 2 vehicles, 2 large SUVs, with 2 low emission vehicles. First, a half-ton hybrid pickup truck, which would be used by the DPW department, and second, a fully electric car to be shared among various departments for things like on-site inspections. $50,000 is requested for our Complete Streets program. The Complete Streets funds cover things like crosswalks, bike lanes, and other features to make our streets more walkable and safer. $50,000 is requested for the installation of a fire alarm system in our 3 existing fire stations. The current fire stations, not including the new one under construction, do not have fire alarm systems, which is a risk when the building is unoccupied. These fire alarm systems will be wired into the town's hardwired fire alarm network. $50,000 is requested for the town's sustainability program, which would fund various initiatives, including maintaining our greenhouse gas inventory, installing electric vehicle chargers, which will be partially subsidized by utilities, certain natural solutions such as tree planting, especially at Jones Field, and funding our ability to seek grants and cover the incremental costs of purchasing sustainable alternatives to various products. The fire extrication tools that we have now are gasoline hydraulic and need to be replaced. These new battery electric models are more appropriate and less risky to be used to extract people from accidents from modern cars. The town's forklift truck is 20 years old and has safety and maintenance problems. It's really reached the end of its useful life, and it needs to be replaced. It's used daily at the DPW facility, so it's a piece of equipment that's very much in need. And finally, the computers in our police cruisers were purchased 10 years ago and have reached the end of their useful life. This $25,000 would fund replacement computers for each of our police cruisers. Thank you very much for your support for Article 3.